Okay, Andrew. Good evening. Welcome to the December 10th Commission on Disabilities meeting. Please keep all cell phones and electronic devices off. We appreciate it. And please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. I'll do a roll call of the members. Enza Goodwin.
Present.
Michelle DeBellis.
Present.
Pauline Perno.
Present.
Albert Sheridan.
Present.
Robert Bent is absent. Co-chair Rick Frenny is absent. And myself, Chair Ralph DeChico, is present. Before we formally begin, I basically wanted to take a few moments. The City of Revere recently lost two outstanding members since our last meeting. One was Rick Promise from Revere TV. He was a great asset to the community. He was involved in a lot of community events behind the scenes. I know personally he was a great asset to myself, especially with the Revere Commission on Disabilities and helping to facilitate these meetings. He will deeply be missed, and he'll never be forgotten or be able to be replaced. So I just wanted to send out condolences to his family and friends on behalf of the Commission on Disabilities and our members. And I would, at this time, like to see if we could stand for a moment of silence for the late Rick Promise. Thank you. Next, I would like to also mention that the City of Revere has lost another member of the community, Cindy Tattleman. She was a former chair of the Revere Commission on Disabilities and a very strong advocate for the disabled community in Revere. She would always speak on how much she adored being part of the commission during her time here, and I was told that it was spoken those same words during her services over about a week and a half ago. So she, as I mentioned, she was a great advocate, and she was the former chair of the Revere Commission on Disabilities a few years back. So she will greatly be missed. So again, the Revere Commission on Disabilities, on behalf of myself and the whole commission, we would like to extend our full sympathy and condolences to the family and friends of the late Cindy Tattleman. So I would ask at this time if we could please stand and for a moment of silence for Cindy Tattleman. Thank you. Item 1 on our agenda is a motion to approve the meeting minutes from October, actually it should say November, from our November meeting. That's an incorrect typo from me. And I believe the meeting was it November 12th?
Yes.
November 12th meeting. So if you had a moment to take a look at it, then if I could have a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
And do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Item number 2 is the Coda Commission of the Disabilities Alliance monthly conference call meeting, which was held last Wednesday, December 4th, 2019. Unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, I was unable to be on that conference call, and I had asked the co-chair, but he was unable to also. But I had gotten a brief summary from another city's commission member. That call basically, they were detailing, the city of Boston was just going over some ordinances that they have on the books for different tasks. So it was an informal meeting anyway. If I get any more information about that call, I can let everybody know about that at our next meeting, and my apologies for not being able to be on that call due to a scheduling conflict. Next, I have item 3 is the scheduling for the December events and CPAC events. I have one item that is written on there, and I'll have Ended read that, and she could also add any late events that may be needed to go on the record.
Okay, so this coming Saturday, December 14th, CPAC in conjunction with Parks and Recreation is hosting our annual holiday party from 2:30 to 4 p.m. at the Garfield Community School. We're very excited because children and their families will enjoy games and music, along with a couple bounce houses and, of course, a special visit from Santa. As always, snack and water donations are helpful. If donating any snacks, we would appreciate if they could be not free. At this time, we are all set with volunteers. We've been fortunate enough to get many high school volunteers, as well as directors and teachers from the district plan on coming out to help us. But in the future, if anyone's available to volunteer or donate, we always appreciate that.
Anyone have anything else? Is that basically that was what I had on there, and so that was fine. Okay. So that's what we have for the December events. Next is I have item 4 is the self-evaluation plan, transition plan for the municipal buildings update. Basically, what I just wanted to let everyone know is that the full transition plan has been finalized from EMG, which was our consulting firm, and signed off, and I have filed it with the state MOD. So now the city of Revere is now in compliance that we have that transition plan on file, and I have sent it to the mayor and the appropriate departments within the city of Revere, and we will go from there. So now at least we have that on file, so we're in compliance with all rules and regulations for the federal government. And once the nuts and bolts go through it, I'm sure it will be able to be released for anyone to take a look at. If any commission members want to take a look at that, I do have it electronically. I'm trying to think. That document I think might be, I want to say it might be about 200 pages, but it's not that bad. It's not as in-depth as the self-evaluation plans get into the nuts and bolts of it. The transition plan is a summary of all the self-evaluations, and it prioritizes different buildings into five different stages. There's stage 1, some of the buildings are stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you take a look at the document, you'd be able to see it, and it puts dollar amounts for each project. But now that we have that filed with the state, we're allowed to go after any municipal grants that we need that pertain to ADA compliances or work that we want to get done. So that's what we needed to have done, and it's done so we can basically what's called shovel in the ground grants that we'll be able to go for. So if anyone has any questions on that, you can let me know. Okay. Item 5 is a follow-up regarding the creation of a city ordinance to ban single-use plastic straws in the city of Revere. This was supposed to be sent to Legislative Affairs Subcommittee for their meeting on November 18th by the City Council after the public hearing meeting on October 28th. It was actually left off of that meeting's agenda and placed on their meeting's agenda for November 25th. And that's why I had sent out the late communication that it was canceled for the October, the first meeting. The November 18th meeting was canceled, so when it was rescheduled for the November 25th, myself and co-chair Rick Frenny, we did go up to that meeting and basically, summarized basically why we did not feel that it should be passed. And at that time, what they decided to do is they decided to table it. I really was hoping that they did not table it and just shot it down right then and there. But they tabled it, and it will probably be coming up at a later date in January. And once that happens, bet your bottom dollar, I'll be right up there fighting to tell them that we do not want that ban on plastic straws. For reasons that I stated, I'm not sure if anybody seen the Revere Advocate this week. They did a little summary on that. On my reasonings behind it. The Revere Journal had the full speech of myself and Michelle's from when I went in front of the council, but it hasn't been put into the paper yet. So yeah, so I don't know if they were waiting for anything else, but they have both of them, but it did not go into the Revere Journal yet. But in case anybody on the commission did not get a chance to see the meeting or they want those two letters, I have them electronically for you to read, along with the graph stating why other types of straws are not acceptable to either people with disabilities or autistic children or even elderly. Okay, so if anyone has any questions or any comments on that, you're welcome to speak now so people know our feelings. I'm pretty sure from the emails I got from everyone here that we all have the same feelings on why they should not be banning plastic straws. Sure. Michelle?
So unfortunately, I wasn't at last month's meeting, but I did send a letter, and it was read by Ralph, and if you hadn't had a chance to read it, if you'd like to, but for me and my son being autistic, I can tell you it's a huge problem, and that's what I tried to stress in the letter to the council. And my only hope is that they listen and they understand that it's not just about the plastic. I understand, I'm all for saving the environment, but children like my son, the elderly, people with medical conditions, it's a real problem. And it's going to affect their quality of life. Something very simple as a plastic straw to others is not for people like my son and many, many others. So I strongly hope they really look into it, they listen to what we've said, and it's not passed. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything they want to state? Pauline?
Thank you. Michelle, to tag on to that, I agree with you 1,000%. It would also be very interesting. There are a number of groups that would be severely impacted by passing this. So I'm wondering if they ever looked at the statistics, the breakdown of autistic children, disabled in the community, elderly that have had incidences, or anyone who's had an incident where they are impaired. So if we were ever able to get those statistics and show those who absolutely need them versus those who not even opposed but just don't, I'm wondering where those statistics would fall as well. And again, they have to, if they're going to address it citywide, they're going to have to address it in the schools, because each one of those packets that comes through food service has a plastic straw in it. And so we're talking about, you're going to have people that are going to have to be in that lunchroom helping those students who need those straws. So I'm wondering if the city is ready to address that whole piece of the issue as well. So I support 1,000%.
And that's not only the issue with if Revere was to deny plastic straws, but it is a sentiment throughout the country. And in cities that have repealed plastic straws, the disability community is, they're trying to find ways to repeal that because the disabled community was not asked or given an opinion as to ban them or not. I know that some cities and towns throughout the country have exceptions, but an exception does not do justice. You can't have an exception while a restaurant can have it for a disabled person because it's a stigmatism. A disabled person is not supposed to have to worry about going to a restaurant and seeing if they have a straw or not. And the restaurant, because it's an exception, they're not going to want to have them there. So you can't have as an exception. It's either you have them or you don't have them, and you should not have it that you don't have them. Just don't put them in every glass that you're putting in a restaurant. That's the easiest way if you think it's causing a concern with the environment. Just ask, when you're in a restaurant, just ask. Have the waitresses, bartenders, waiters ask, would you like a straw with your drink? Just don't put them in every drink. This way, it's not a stigmatism for a person to have to ask for a straw who's disabled. That's the proper way that it should be done. And I believe that's being done in a couple of countries, also Australia, because I did a little bit of a background information on it. So when I hear that, well, there's going to be exceptions for disabled, for seniors, to me that's not the answer. That's pacifying it and trying to get it to be passed. And I'm sorry, that doesn't fly with me. So I'll say my piece. Next, I have item 6 is a late item, and basically, I did not put this on the agenda, but as I mentioned at last month's meeting, that I believe I mentioned at the end that I was going to be having a meeting with DOT regarding the new signalization that's going to be going on Broadway. So I did have that meeting with different departments in the city of Revere, with the company that's going to be doing that for DOT, which is Beta. And I just wanted to give just a quick summary of the traffic signal system upgrade improvements. Basically, what it is going to be done is the last time any signalization work was done was a low-cost signal improvement on Broadway. It was in 2016, which really wasn't that much of an initiative. 1998 was the Massachusetts Highway Department project, which was the last time a full-blown signalization project was done on Broadway. So what this is going to, the objective is to improve overall traffic operations along Broadway, which will include the signalization, capacity deficiencies, emergency preemptions, transit priority, pedestrian safety, and bicycle safety. The scope of services is they're going to be doing data collection, traffic volumes, equipment that we now have in the city to see what we have is operational, observations, field surveys, baseline traffic operations. They're going to basically doing upgrading, retrofitting the existing signal equipment and software, which would be vehicle detectors, central remote access, communication interfaces, signal heads, accessible pedestrian signals. The APS is the automatic pedestrian signals, controllers, transit priority signals, the software that will go along with it, and then remote access to traffic signal management, so when they see that traffic flow, somebody from the city is going to be able to change the signalization on it when they see that there's traffic building. But one of the main pieces that I like is the APS, which is going to be great for the disabled. And during that meeting too, we talked about a couple of the problem areas. One was Central Ave and Broadway, the signalization there for the walking, and also Park Ave and Broadway, two main areas that they're going to be looking at to see what can be done there. I wanted to, basically talk about that. It's not going to be something that's done overnight. There is a full timeline as to how this will be getting done. Let's see if I can find a quick map on that. But I believe some of it's going to be kicking off late spring, early summer. They're going to be starting all the analysis early spring. So, but it's from start to finish, it's going to be a few years to implement it all. And then what this is also going to do is going to be the catalyst. Broadway signalization is also going to be helping to moderate the Revere Street, North Shore traffic. So the game plan is that once you get the main hub of Broadway, then you can do the branches that come into the main trunk. So Broadway is considered the main trunk. But my main concern is the automated signalization for the disabled. So I just wanted to let you know. So I'll be on top of that. Okay, and we're going to try and find as much technology that we can find to help. Okay. So I don't know if anybody has any questions on that. That was the only late item that I did not put on the agenda. Next is item 7 is the open forum for residents' concerns with ongoing issues, questions, and feedbacks. For any residents, you just come to the podium and just hit the red button and just state your name and address for the record. There should be a red button right on hit the button right in the middle of the mic and the light should go on.
It's not red, but okay.
Okay, once it goes on, it'll turn red.
Richard Picardi, 89 Revere Street, Revere. I could be in the wrong venue. Need to get a handicap sign from the what you would do is you would have to get an application to fill out. Do you have access to online? Because Yes, I do.
I have everything on the Commission on Disabilities website. It tells you what you need to fill out, the criteria. I can basically tell you what it is. Parking has to be allowed on your side of the street. They have to be the homeowner, and there can't be a handicap accessible driveway at the residence. What it is the application will be filled out. There's 2 applications. There's one for the person, and then there's a medical application. And then it tells you what has to be submitted, just the license and a copy of the placard. And once that gets turned in, it goes to the Traffic Commission. I get all that. I send it to the Traffic Commission. Once it gets in at that first month, they take a look at it and they schedule for a public hearing for the second month. And then once everything, if all the paperwork is fine, then they approve it. And depending on the weather, within a couple of weeks, the sign will go up. If I was trying to think, I'm going to see I don't think I have the applications on me, but either that, if you can't print it out, then you can come to my office on Fridays and I can give you all the paperwork.
Okay, I can print it out. I spoke with Councilor Powers and Sergeant Chanino about it.
Okay,
Already.
yeah.
They didn't know exactly how to go about it either.
Yeah. Yeah, just go to the Commission on Disabilities page on the city website, and all the information is right there, what you need to know for a handicap sign, and the applications are right there. If not, you can give me a call at the Commission on Disabilities and leave me a name and number, and I can give you a call back, or you can come and see me, and I can get you everything. Yep.
All right, I'm the homeowner.
Yeah.
My aunt, I just purchased it from her actually in March. She's 89.
Yeah, as long as she lives in the house there, it's fine. Yeah.
Do I have a driveway, but it's too far?
Yeah, well, we have to see if it's handicap accessible, and all it is the width if the door's open far enough. That's all it is. Is parking allowed on your side of Revere Street?
Yes, it is. I live at 89, and she can't park that far, and there's a lot of congested parking there. There's a salon next door.
Well, that's gonna be changing soon. Resident parking's going through. So, yeah, but that's Traffic Commission does the decision on it anyway. I just facilitate all the paperwork for
Very
them.
good. Okay, I'll get the paperwork.
Okay.
And your name, sir?
My name's Ralph DeChico.
Okay, yep, yep. Anyone else? You just push the button, name and address for the record.
Cristiano.
Okay.
I'm not even sure I should be here, but it's been bothering me. I go to the Planet Fitness at Wonderland, and in the handicap, I call it the handicap, even though it's not identified, the handicap dressing room has no railings, and it has a stool. And if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be able to sit down or get up to go into the shower.
Okay.
The shower, I've spoken with the managers, they said they've been. they said
Which
they
Planet
were-
Fitness, the one at Wonderland?
Wonderland.
Okay, what I can do is, if you just, we have her name, I can check with the building inspector to see what was on their plans to facilitate if there was supposed to be handicap
Okay.
inside there.
Yeah.
There's a criteria that they have to go through from the Architectural Access Board when they build. If they weren't, if it wasn't in their,
They didn't think of it.
no, well, no, it's not that they didn't think of it, is there's laws and regulations that the State Architectural Access Board, which regulates for disabled accommodations, they may not have to do it, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So we have to take I'll have to mention it to the building department, and they can take a look at their plans. Because anytime that anything gets built, they have to do, ADA compliance on certain things. So we'll have to take a look at what they were told to do on that.
Okay, and then walking from the dressing room to the shower, there's no railings.
Yeah, that
And
might
then
be,
coming out of the shower, walking back to the dressing room, the floor's marble.
Yeah.
Slippery when wet.
yeah,
And I tell the managers all the time, I really don't want to own this place, but
yeah,
you got to do something, I don't know.
yeah. That might be something different. Yeah, I don't know on that, but I'll have them take a look at their plans to see what they have on there.
Okay.
Because I know they probably have one common area, they don't have to have a separate one, but they'll know what the Architectural Access Board can put on there. The other thing that, what the best thing for me to do is see if I can take a look at what they have for their plans on there. Okay?
I wasn't sure.
Yep. Yep, no. No, this is fine. No, this is fine, yeah, and then I can have them take a look at it and see what's on their plans for when they built it. Okay? Yep.
Ralph, how would we like to facilitate communication?
Do you want to give us your phone number and I can? Yeah, yeah, and then I can get in touch with you and let you know what I found out.
Sure.
Okay. She'll come to you. The next thing, so I don't believe we have any next steps, but what I want to do is I'll have Michelle, if you don't mind, read item 9 for me.
Reminder, the Commission on Disabilities has office hours on Fridays from 8:15 to 12:15 in the Veteran Service Office in the rear of the Legion Building at 249 R Broadway, which is right next door to City Hall. You can call for an appointment if you would like, but you do not need one. You will be able to talk to someone from our 311 Constituent Center on other days when you call our office at 781-286-8267. They will be able to answer most questions, but if they are unable to do so, or if you would like a call back from our office, they can transfer you to the Disabilities Office voicemail. Someone will get back to you as soon as we can. Also, please let us know if you would like something discussed or brought up and added to our monthly meeting agenda. You can let us know if you would like to come and speak on any issue or concerns. The Commission is here to help and assist all the disabled residents and families of Revere. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn,
I just wanted to make another brief announcement. I just wanted to wish our residents out there a happy Hanukkah, which is on the 22nd of December, and a Merry Christmas, which is on the 25th of December, and a Happy Kwanzaa, which is on the 26th of December. So I just wanted to wish that out to all our residents in Revere. And one other wish is to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2020, which will be coming right around the corner. So I just wanted to wish everyone that, and everyone to be safe and enjoy, and let's hope for a great new year coming around the corner. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
And a second?
Second?
Second. And I wish my fellow commission members the same. Happy and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you for all your help this year. And let's hope next year is even better. And our next meeting will be Tuesday, January 14th. And I put another thing down on the wrong date on here. It's 2020 at 6 p.m. Have a great night now.